I once asked, what kind of America do you want? And you answered that question lately. And so this video will be titled, When Hate Wins, We All Lose. And I say that because some people, or most people, voted with the things that they grew up on, such as hate, racism, and not liking somebody because somebody told you, or because you looked at them from afar and thought that they were less than you. Now, this is not about race today. This is about truth. And I'll tell you something. People wanted to know why is history so important. And I'm not talking about his story or your story or even my story. I'm talking about the truth, especially the truth about America. Okay? One man can do all things, break all kind of law, be a convicted felon, and it doesn't matter. Because as long as he looked like the majority, it doesn't matter what happens. But we will see very soon how that is going to cost not just you or me, it's going to cost a lot of people who aren't billionaires. In the words of a man who went through similar times, and there may have been worse times, but he went through similar times, and he talked about the way one man treated another here in these supposed to be great United States of America. The American government, what is it but a tradition, though a recent one, endeavoring to transmit itself unimpaired to posterity, but each instant losing some of its integrity. It has not the vitality and force of a single living man, for a single man can bend it to his will. It is sort of a wooden gun to the people themselves. But it is not the less necessary for this. For the people must have some complicated machinery or other, and here it's then to satisfy that idea of government which they have. Now, governments showed us how successfully men can be imposed on and even impose on themselves for their own advantage. It is excellent. We must all allow. Yet this government never of itself furthered any enterprise, but by the alacrity with which it's got out of its way. Now, it does not keep the country free. It does not settle the West. It does not educate this government of ours. Their character inherent in the American people has done all that has been accomplished, and it would have been done somewhat more if the government had not sometimes got in its own way. For government is an expedient by which men would fain succeed in letting one another alone, and has been said, when it is most expedient, the governed are most let alone by it. Trade and commerce, if they were not made of Indian rubber, would never manage to bounce over the obstacles which legislators are continually putting in their way, And if one were to judge these men wholly by the effects of their actions and not partly by their intentions, they would deserve to be classed and punished with those mischievous persons who put obstructions on the railroads. Now, I said all of that to say this. These words talk about the government making use of public funds for their own benefit. It talks about the rich getting richer. It talks about people supposedly having the power of the law in their hands, yet giving it to other people who they think they can trust, who use it for their benefit and against those people who gave it to them. Now, most people can't see what I'm talking about, but I'm going to be honest with you. When you look at how you have actually benefited from the government for, say, the last 50 years, 100 years, and you stop voting prejudiciously and start looking at what's best for this country, because I'm going to name some things for you right now. If your son or daughter goes into the military or goes into the police academy or anywhere else, and they have to come out and arrest their own parents, grandparents, children, neighbors, because someone said to do it, and you know how the military is. They give orders, you follow. Now, you might think that's too far-fetched, right? Well, let me tell you something. Martial law is a law that's used to control the people when they get out of hand. Making wars, like the Indians used to say, let's make war on somebody. Wars are great business for rich people. You see, the small guy, he doesn't benefit. The only thing he does is he go fight the war of the rich. Another thing, how can we sit by and let elderly people and veterans suffer? How can we sit by and let the legislators vote the way that they want to, not the way that we tell them to, or they know that we want, to go into our Social Security and to do whatever they want with it, and then tell you that they're going to run out while they live the lavish life that they live? What about our Supreme Court justices? They break the law and they sit up on their high stools and act like they're untouchable. And you don't say nothing. You take that. Right now, the next big thing, or one of the things that they're trying to do, is make it where every transaction, every person in this United States that they make, that they'll know about it. There will be no more hiding money between the mattresses, burying it out in the yard if it goes digital. And guess what? Whenever they press a button, the electricity goes off or whatever, you can't access your money. They weaponize food. They weaponize education. They even weaponize you against yourself, and you can't see it because you're too blind by hate. Have a good day.